they want to re-sign Bryce Harper, but if they're not able to, they would have other guys.
Right, they got to have
backup
talent in the
plans.
pipeline ready to go if and when Bryce departs. Makes sense.
To me, though, it's hard to say they've handled it perfect until you actually see the result. Like the result, if you've handled it perfectly to me if he re-signs. Or if these guys are silly and are good enough replacements to give you the production that Bryce Harper was giving you.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say Bryce Harper leaves and these guys don't pan out. Well, then I don't say that you've handled it perfectly.
Well, they may pan out, but they might not
but
give you the same production that Bryce is going to give you.
It was kind of
out of their.
It was out of their control,
I think he's talking about just in terms of being classy and giving yourself the best opportunity, whether he signs here or not. I think that's what he's referring to.
Do you agree with the organization that they do embrace their players? He does point out the Nats nurture their players, mentor them, protect their careers, Strasburg, for example, and feel accountable for their growth into adults, regardless of whether they think the players will eventually stay in D.C. as Ryan Zimmerman and Strasburg did, or make the business and personal decision to leave with no hard feelings.
I think generally speaking, that's true. I think that are you asking me, do I believe that the Nats are a classier organization and take better care and care more about the future of their players and the health and well-being of the players than the Redskins? 100%.
Well,
that's probably true of almost every
that
NFL
goes without
team.
saying.
Yeah. NFL teams are butt-sized to throw their guys out there.
Who would disagree with that?
I think this is a very optimistic take, though, when it comes to Bryce Harper himself. I do think it's a classy organization. It's very well run. I think Rizzo does a great job. They seem to be loaded with enough prospects. They go out and get some free agents. They also have talent come up through the
Rizzo
ranks,
seems
whether
to
it's
win.
Anthony Rendon.
He seems to win 90% of the trades he's involved with.
They make good moves.
Yes.
But I don't know if that has anything to do with what Bryce Harper is going to do.
Well, how could it? I mean, it's out of their control. He's an unrestricted free agent.
It's just a matter of
he can go over
come up
it's
with
not
a
like you can
competitive
franchise
offer.
tag him.
I think if they come up with a
You can't pin him
competitive
down
offer
with a tag offer and make him stay.
If their offer is close and he decides to go elsewhere, I think they can look at themselves and say, we did whatever we could to retain him. Asking price is too high. We're going to have to move on as an
is this
organization.
true? Did I see a story last night that Bryce acknowledged that he was asked about who he would want the manager to be or his thoughts?
That he had input, yeah.
They consulted him.
And I don't know if Rizzo
I don't know
wants
if it
that
was
out
the manager
there.
or coaches.
Oh, he said Rizzo called me.
I know, but I'd
Right,
have
I
to
understand
reread
what you're
it.
saying.
I thought maybe it was some of the positional coaches.
That might
not
be
necessarily
true.
the manager, but maybe it was the manager as well.
Yeah, but he was consulted. And I think there's nothing wrong with your general manager consulting your biggest star, particularly
Happens,
a kid who's about to become free agent.
Yeah.
You know, happens all the time. It should happen, probably.
Yeah,
Quote
because you don't
from,
want your biggest star unhappy like he was when Matt Williams was
And
was
maybe even with Dusty. He didn't give Dusty the greatest
Yeah, I mean,
endorsement
he didn't.
when the
he
time
didn't.
came.
He didn't. I mean, I think for the most part, the players like Dusty, but you know,
I
there
agree.
might be a few outliers.
Interesting quote here from National Insider. It says, in 2016, Strasburg was driving the train. He told agent Scott Boras to get him the best deal he could get, but a deal to stay in Washington. So that's what happened. Now Bryce is driving the train. He'll decide what's best for him. So to me, you know, it sounds great. The organization is very well run, but if the guy wants to leave, he's going to leave.
Yeah, I mean,
Listen,
I
I've
don't know.
heard-
Is there anybody arguing with that?
I've heard that Bryce is going
And
to go.
by the way, it is well run. They win the division every freaking year.
I've heard that it's going to
little
go
different
to
than the
whoever
Redskins.
gives Bryce a penny more than the other person. That it's strictly a financial thing. That's what I've heard. Now,
Yeah, who knows?
and you know, you would think Bryce might give you a hometown discount at least of a penny, but my understanding is he's going to go to the highest bidder. That's the assumption.
And I would love to know who that highest
It's hard
bidder
to blame
is.
him.
The highest bidder going to be Washington? Probably not.
Now, he supposedly wants $400 million. J.D. Martinez, who hit the 45 home runs last year, signed for 110 for 5 years.
He's
Eric
also
Hosmer
he's also
signed
30.
for $144 million.
And how old is Bryce? 23? 23 at this point?
23, 24, something like that. Yeah.
So here's the quote from Harper, and I think Brian Tinsman wrote this for the Fan here. You can see the article. Maybe I'll tweet it.
He's 25.
He said, I was excited
5 years, big deal.
Harper said when asked about new hitting coach Kevin Long, I got a call from Rizzo
Was Kevin
earlier.
Long from the Yankees? Was he with the Yankees?
Yeah. Got a call from Rizzo earlier in the offseason, and he talked about Davey and the staff and who I wanted and what I thought about the guys that he was looking at, and was really excited to put Kevin Long's name out there. When he talked about that, I was like, wow. So I don't know. I think that's a good sign. At least they're on good terms, speaking together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Consulting with each other, and
It's all about what type of year he has, and then what are teams willing to spend
If you
on
had
the
to
guy.
guess, will he be wearing a Nationals uniform in 2019?
Hard to believe.
No.
Because we've heard so many rumors that he wants to go to other places, but I don't know. I have no idea.
I think he wants to get paid.
Okay, well, what if Washington's willing to pay him?
I think he would stay. I don't think Washington will be the highest bidder.